Hi. I'm Miranda, and this is Nick.
Wait.
Welcome to episode 12 of the Ranting podcast. This is our Rants on the Rocks episode where we review different types of media, whether it's books, movies, documentaries, TV, whatever we feel like yapping about. This week, we watched The Rachel Divide, which was directed and produced by Laura Brownson, and it is currently streaming on Netflix. So you can go check it out over there. And this documentary is about Rachel Dolezal, her family, and the aftermath of being exposed for lying about her racial identity. So, for just like a quick break, your face is so funny. I know.
Over here doing my Sudokus.
So for just a quick, brief overview, the Rachel Dolezal scandal broke on June 10th, 2015, after she was blindsided by a seemingly simple interview question by a local TV reporter. On June 11th, 2015, an article titled "Black Like Me" was published, and this article reported Rachel's claims about her ethnicity. This article reported Rachel's claims about her ethnicity had been contradicted by her parents. Apparently, there had been a series of hate crimes reported by Rachel Dolezal against herself, as well as the local NAACP office, and when they were unsubstantiated, local reporters of the Coeur d'Alene Press, Jeff Sell and Maureen Dolan, started investigating her. And beginning with inquiring about a photo of a man on Facebook that Rachel claimed as her father. This is where her life story begins to unravel. So, ready to get into it?
Yeah. This one gets a little wild. I have my opinions, but I'll wait till the end.
All right. So, the documentary begins with a recorded interview of Rachel. It's unclear when the interview takes place. I couldn't really tell if it was recent or not.
You mean like the year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
No, like that very first interview, I couldn't tell when it was. But the interviewer asked Rachel about how she's grappled with identity and how she's mentioned in the past feeling like she has to pick a side. And she gives kind of a non-answer by saying, quote, "I guess I know who I am and my kids know who I am, and pretty much I don't think anybody else really does." And then in the opening credit underlay, there are several recorded videos of Rachel. In the first clip, she introduces herself as the president of the NAACP in Spokane, Washington. For those who don't know, the NAACP is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. It's a civil rights organization that was founded in 1909. And then so through these recorded videos, we see Rachel at protests and counter protests, putting on demonstrations, and she's getting her kids involved and everything. She was out there leading marches and doing all kinds of interviews and really putting out the word about, all this great activism that she's a part of. But then there's the infamous clip from the June 10th, 2015 interview of a local TV reporter, Jeff Humphrey, off camera asking Rachel, "Are you African American?" And she freezes. After hesitating for a minute, she says, "I don't understand the question." And in the middle of Humphrey asking Rachel if her parents are white, she just walks away. And that's where it all begins.
It's not great.
So almost immediately, Rachel's entire backstory was brought to public light after being blindsided by this reporter. Rachel is then assumably forced to resign from her position as the head of the Spokane chapter of the NAACP. She had also been removed from her position in the local police oversight commission, as well as from her position as a professor of Africana studies at Eastern Washington University. There is a clip then of Rachel on the Today Show where she's asked again if she's African American. And I mean, I'm sure it's edited this way, but she seems to rationalize her identity by explaining that she would draw herself as a child using the brown crayon. So that's followed by another quick clip of a black woman asking Rachel if she's black, and she proudly says yes. In another clip, Rachel's parents, her extremely white parents, are doing a video interview with ABC News where they then confirm that Rachel is in fact their birth daughter. But of course, Rachel then in a different interview says that she doubts whether they're even her parents because she's never gotten a DNA test. Then we see a screenshot of her Facebook page where she's actually been highlighting this black man as her father for some time. And when asked about it, she doubles down and says, quote, "Any man can be a father, not every man can be a dad." She gives a lot of non-answers.
Constantly.
Yeah. And, you know, in all of this, it even comes to light that she had sued Howard University, her alma mater, for discrimination. And in that lawsuit, she identified herself as a Caucasian woman. So people are like,
Pick
fuck.
one.
Yeah. She literally just became a public spectacle overnight. And the media and the public in general just tore her apart. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, I guess, how everything started, basically came to be. So now in present day, like she's like talking to the camera and stuff. It's very like breaking the fourth wall, is it, I guess? Or
maybe, I guess.
Yeah, like she just talks directly to the camera, I guess, but yeah. So this one, it's like a present day of her.
Right.
Yeah. And she's braiding her hair, and in her voiceover, she questions, who's the gatekeeper for blackness? Who can protect it, define it, own it? And do we actually have the right to live exactly how we feel? So here is where we're introduced to Rachel's son, Franklin, who's 13. And they're on their way to pick up Franklin's brother, Isaiah. And Franklin reveals that he's had a pretty crappy summer because he's been stuck at home all summer. He's obviously very aware of the amount of attention that Rachel draws in. And like even at the airport, they're getting recorded by people in a taxi behind them. It's crazy.
They're also being followed by cameras.
I mean, yeah,
So
that could possibly
right
be
there.
it.
Like
it doesn't necessarily.
They might have not even known who you were, but they
just
saw
that
you
you're
at
being,
the airport
yeah,
with all these cameras around you.
That's true. That's very true. It could just be like, oh, when this like comes out, we can say that we saw them or something, But still, it obviously, you can tell that it gives him a lot of anxiety. Yeah, I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
But back at, they're sitting back at the house now, and Isaiah's like asking if this is what they've been dealing with so far that summer. And
did you catch where he was?
No, I don't think that they said.
I know where he went, but I didn't know where he came back from. So, okay.
But Rachel explained, I'm assuming college, because he's saying that he wanted to go to law school. So he's probably already in college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
just because he was making plans for law school, I feel like either you're making plans for college first or making plans.
Yeah, maybe,
you wouldn't go check out law schools if you're not even in college yet. You know,
that's fair.
Anyway, so Rachel, then she explains in a private interview that she feels as if she's been subjected to a public trial and the jury is still out on who she is, if she's a good person or a bad person, if she's black or white. And she acknowledges that everybody just wants her to admit that she's white and everything will be fine. She clearly doesn't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So now it's like a different day, I guess. So they're back at the house, and Rachel does a gender reveal with Isaiah and Franklin. This is where we find out that she's pregnant.
Yeah, that was super confusing.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming.
Well, the two boxes was just confusing because one was a tiara.
I know. Well, I guess she was trying to throw them off.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but anyway, she tells them she's having a boy. And she's trying to find a good name that won't be too hard to pronounce or get a job. And like, I thought that was kind of funny how she made that distinction. I don't know. It just chuckled me a little bit. So then Rachel's adopted sister, Esther, arrives at her house. Normally, I wouldn't make a point to say that it's her adopted sister, but in case you didn't watch it, it's also kind of obvious because Esther is an obviously fully black woman. So
Fully black.
fully black woman. So that's why, like, in case you didn't watch it,
She's not pretending.
yes,
Yes.
she is.
She's black.
She's black.
Yes.
She's adopted.
Yes.
Still her sister. Moving on.
Got it.
Rachel explains that the only people who have consistently been supportive of her through this whole ordeal are Esther, Isaiah, and Franklin. And she also mentions to Esther how she had made a Facebook post announcing her pregnancy, which I thought it was kind of funny how she was like, hopefully people can be happy for us and we can just live a private life. But
you're making a
she's
documentary.
Also, she's still constantly posting online.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll touch more on that later, but it feels counterintuitive to what she wants at this point in time. But if you like it, I love it, girl.
We'll go with that.
I mean, she's obviously going through it though, and I do feel bad for her kids, especially Franklin. I really do feel very bad for him.
I think that's two separate conversations. The kids are
100%. Yeah. So I mean, he obviously has a lot of anxiety around his association with her.
He as in
Franklin.
Okay.
Yeah. The younger one.
Yes.
So it's clear that he loves her. Obviously, he loves her very much. He's very protective of her. That's his mom. But you can also see that he's sick of having to deal with all this shit surrounding her. And
Isaiah seemed to be kind of protective too, because he was the one at the airport that was like, I'm about to go over there.
Yeah.
Because they were recording them. So they're both pretty protective. I think the love is there for sure.
Oh, 100%. I think there's more anxiety for Franklin than there is for Isaiah,
Probably.
though.
Well, he's also been there for all of it too.
That's what I'm saying.
Fair,
I feel, and he's younger. He can't just leave Isaiah can, Yeah. But anyway, one thing I said, at one point she acknowledges their feelings of how, it must be to be around her and stuff, which I guess helps. I mean, at least she's aware in that. I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, she acknowledges that her presence tends to cause somewhat of an uproar. So she tends to just stay out of the social situations if the kids need to do something in public. And here we see why. Rachel pulls up to the barber shop to drop off Isaiah and Franklin. And after the kids head inside while she's parked out front, the owner of the barber shop comes outside and tells her to move her car. And she tries to protest. And she's like, I just want to make sure that Franklin can find me when he comes outside. But he's like, Franklin will be fine. He knows where to find you. You need to move from in front of my shop. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's fucked, but also I get where he's coming from. He just doesn't want her bad publicity associated with his business.
I think, again, because of the cameras.
Well, yeah.
Not because of anybody can pick her out of
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying is that he probably didn't want, the moniker of his shop right there on the fucking documentary.
While you're shooting a documentary, yeah, right.
Exactly. So that's what I was saying is that he doesn't want her bad publicity associated with his business because that's probably how he provides for his family, assumably, or even if it's just himself, who cares? That's still his livelihood and he has every right to be concerned about her presence and his barbershop being on a Netflix documentary. And so that's my little rant on that.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah,
I mean, he was pretty fucking rude.
That's why I was like, it's fucked how he did it, but I understand where he's coming from. He sounded like a black man too, so he was probably just like, get the fuck out of here.
Maybe.
I mean, there's two black boys going into a barber shop. I want to send my kids to a different place to go get their hair cut. I'm assuming. But it sounded like an older black man.
If I'm on public property, I'm not gonna move for you. But I mean, that's a whole separate thing. It's not. I don't know.
It's exactly.
She did the right thing by moving and just
just circle the fuck.
Your kids are in there getting haircuts.
Just move. Don't make it. That's what I was saying. Fair. Don't make it worse for the kids. Yeah. Just leave. They're probably already getting a fucking earful inside.
Maybe. Yeah. Probably. Actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
because there's a documentary being shot,
and that's outside, their association with her in general, probably
It's not their fault.
I know it's not their fault, but you know that people are probably not even probably. You know that people are saying shit to them too.
Oh, we know for a fact. That they're saying some nasty shit.
Fucked up. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Yep. Anyway, so after she gets booted from the front of the shop, she even said like that's why they just stay home, because that's what happens whenever she goes out. She's just ostracized by the public. So then back at the house, Franklin is expressing his feelings about the whole scandal. And he really does try to simplify it by saying, quote, "All my mom did was say she was black and people start losing their minds. She's done a lot for the community. People don't bother to recognize that. All they say is that she's a liar." He's not completely wrong. Like, and this is one thing that I struggled with was like, because he's not wrong. She was doing a lot of good work for the community.
But
that's the,
Yeah.
That's part of the problem though.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yes, anyway. But then I really just feel so bad for him. He even says that he can hear her like crying at night in her sleep, and he just hopes that his future sibling doesn't have to deal with the same shit that he does. Which is like, obviously it's affecting him very deeply. And like he explains that it's difficult to be dealing with this as a 13-year-old, and he wished that if it had to happen, it would have happened when he was older, presumably out of school.
Well, probably because
then he could leave. Yeah. And Rachel explains that, you know, she applies for or inquires about at least 3 jobs a week, but she hasn't gotten a single interview. And then there's also very limited positions in her field of Black studies, Africana studies, etc. So it's clear that her name is very well known and businesses want to distance themselves from her. And she rationalized this by saying that each business is just hoping that someone else gives her an opportunity so that they can then feel better about doing the same thing. Okay, girl.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. At this point, probably not. Like at that current time, probably not. Now, probably. I believe it now.
To give her a chance?
Yeah.
Maybe.
At that time, at that point in time, when the scandal just dropped, nobody's going to fucking hire her.
I don't think it just dropped. This is later.
This is like just after it happened. It's over the summer.
Oh, I didn't know the documentary picked up right after the scandal.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like because, she's like,
I didn't know that.
It's in the summer. And when Isaiah comes back, he's like, is this what you've been dealing with all summer?
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't think it was like, it had to be like
we
maybe
should look that up
months.
to see if there's any, because that's a pretty quick turnaround
I
for a
was
documentary.
trying to look up when did it start filming, but I couldn't find it.
The documentary didn't come out until 2025, but it was filmed in 2015.
No, it came out in like 2018.
Oh, I thought this just came out.
No.
Oh, okay. That was my mistake then. You're probably right.
This is my last like Hail Mary because I was trying to look it up earlier and I couldn't find it.
That's fine.
So I'm just going to put it into chat and see if it pulls anything up.
I didn't know that it came out in 2018. I thought it came out recently.
No, I was trying to look it up, but everything just came up with like articles about the scandal, not about the filming.
Okay. That's fine. It's not a big deal.
Well, according to this, which it looks like it pulled it from bustle.com, it says that the filming began remarkably soon after her story broke, roughly about a month and a half after.
Then you're 100%
so
right.
Meaning the production likely kicked off in mid-July
2015.
Insane.
That's insane. For it to get
it was
that,
fast.
Like that publicity.
That's what I was
quick.
saying. Like when I was trying to explain it to you, like it literally happened overnight.
That's crazy.
Like it was quick.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So Rachel goes on to explain that although she's lost a lot in this whole scandal, she hasn't lost any of her hair clients, which I think speaks to her skills. Which also, like, why wouldn't you lean further? I don't know. Anyway. She also reveals that she had lost contact with her dad Albert after the scandal because he hadn't been fully aware of her past.
That was the father figure.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the black man that had been posted on her Facebook page.
Yep.
Which, like, I don't know. I said, I suppose if he hadn't been on social media, maybe he didn't know that she was publicly claiming him as her father. Maybe. I don't know if that's... I don't know.
He said that he needed distance later in the documentary.
Exactly.
I don't know. They never really shed light on if he knew what she was.
I mean, well, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
But she goes on to say that after she had posted Albert on her Facebook page, Jeff Humphrey, that interviewer, had actually used that against her, and she felt it was, quote, used as a tool for framing her for fraudulence or untruth. I mean, you're telling people that's your dad. He's not your dad.
Did she actually say that it's her dad?
Yeah, she like had a post that was like, "Oh my God, my father is coming out for this." Like it was a ribbon cutting or something like that. And yeah, I thought that. Yeah,
you could have reworded it, but
I know could
have reworded a lot. If we're gonna dig at that.
Yeah, if we're gonna be honest, you could have done a lot differently.
It's fine. We'll get there.
But Jeff Humphrey in his interview for the documentary, he explains that he first began looking into Rachel Dolezal following her claim that the NAACP post office box had received hate mail. And during the investigation, he had filed a public records request for all of the investigative reports associated with the local NAACP office and Rachel. Rachel had claimed to have been victimized dozens of times, including appearances of nooses around her homes, but the police hadn't made any arrests. And then Sean Vestal, another local journalist, explained that he had discovered in the investigation that people had already been skeptical of Rachel and how she had said certain things, that there were several suspicions already before the scandal broke that she had been inflating things or just flat out made them up. And so through the investigation about the hate mail that supposedly had been sent, or allegedly had been sent to the NAACP, the detectives discovered that whoever had put the mail in the post office box had inside access to it because it hadn't gone through any USPS mailing system or any other like whatsoever mailing system. And only 2 people had access to that post office box, one of whom was Rachel Dolezal. Mm-hmm. So it became apparent at that point that Rachel had been dishonest about a number of things. And so they felt prepared to confront her, which is where the original video comes into play from June 10th. And so because of the claims that Rachel had made about hate crimes against herself and against the NAACP, the detectives determined that she had been trying to make it appear that racism and the white supremacist movement was alive and well in the Spokane, Washington area. And, quote, because it wasn't, they felt compelled to out her. Jeff Humphrey deduced that Rachel believed that if racism was making a comeback in the local area, that more people would feel called to join the fight against racism. Nope. But because they found out that she was lying and misleading the public while also holding several public and powerful positions, and they felt she lacked integrity, so they felt it was their responsibility to out her. And so in the documentary, this woman is identified as Tara Johnson, but there is also a news clip of her that shows her name is Kitara, so Tara. Miss Johnson.
Okay.
So she's an NAACP member.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And she points out how she's doing this interview for the documentary. Uh-huh. She points out how there had been NAACP presidents who had a much darker complexion than Rachel, and even they hadn't received as much hate mail as she had.
Yeah.
So that's why it looked so suspicious. And she even says, quote, "Nobody has that much bad luck."
Yep.
And she's not wrong. And like this is my own personal note where I felt like this whole time that if Rachel hadn't drawn so much attention to herself, if she hadn't been trying to victimize herself so much, she probably wouldn't have ever ran into any issues, honestly, or at least not when she did. She could have been outed in a much different way where her accomplishments and activism could have still been highlighted. But I think that she fucked it up for herself by claiming to be victimized over and over and over again. And like,
yeah, that's fair.
Even if some of them, I'm not saying I doubt that all of them were true. I believe some of them might have been true.
Some of the threats.
Yeah. But like, the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah, 100%,
like you keep doing this over and over, and when it finally happens, nobody believes you, and we see that over and over again.
Yeah.
So Tara explains that not only is Rachel just fully unbelievable in everything that she says now, especially regarding race and racial disparity, but she's also made it that much more difficult for the people in Spokane that she was trying to advocate for. The black people in the area. And as fucked up as it is, that's the truth.
Oh, yeah. 100% true.
And I think that's really why people are so mad. Like, honestly, I think that really is the whole principle behind it.
Once your word or your stamp is tainted, there's not a whole lot.
And like all of the, like I said, she had been doing so much good work. Everything that she did just completely went down the drain.
Mm-hmm. No one's going to remember all that.
No.
Only gonna remember
nobody's gonna think about like anything good that she did. Yeah. So then LaToya Brackett, another NAACP member, does an interview for the documentary, and she emphasizes the same point that Ms. Johnson was making by saying that Rachel, quote, destroyed something that now they have to rebuild if they can. She created the destruction for any black woman after that because she was pulling this race card. And she goes on to explain that she didn't initially question whether Rachel was black after she said she was black, but over time, that's when she started questioning things. So then Miss Johnson's voiceover reveals that she had initially questioned Rachel because she looked like a white woman in a black woman's wig. And she's like, she didn't want to be rude to her, but something just didn't click because Rachel never had a story that was fundamental to her calling to social justice.
Yeah, yep.
And then even LaToya Brackett even recalls thinking back on so many of their interactions and like questioning their validity. And even in the moment, she felt that there were so many holes in Rachel's stories.
Now everything comes into question.
Exactly.
Because of this, yep.
And in the next clip, we see one of Rachel's Instagram posts showing a banana lying on her windshield. And she said in the caption that the harassment wasn't funny and she had just gone into the store with her son to see that when she went back out to her car. And I'm guessing she was hoping for some sympathy, but obviously all the comments are people just telling her that she's a liar. They know that she put the banana there, like, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, she got some nasty messages.
Oh, they were bad. But then one that I will say was actually really fucking scary was when she found the random man's concealed carry license outside of her house.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah. And she had said that, like, they dealt with prowlers and home invasions before. And, like, in that regard, I don't give a shit if she lied or not. Like, I really don't care how much she lied. She has kids in her home and she's pregnant. Why the fuck are you breaking into her house? Why are you threatening her life? Like, it's not that serious to be threatening their lives like that. Like, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but it gets worse.
I
Especially
know.
when the baby comes.
I know. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And, like, I think I actually left that out because it was so fucking gross.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean...
It's not surprising.
Yeah. No,
I don't know anything about that area, but it looks pretty run down and stuff.
I mean, that's something that I kind of come into about, like, the demographic of the area.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I thought that was really unnecessary.
Yeah.
So she says that, like, finding that concealed carry permit would be something that typically she'd report to the police as a hate crime, but she's obviously hesitant because of all the things that are happening in her life at the moment. they're probably not going to do anything about it anyway. No.
I mean, what can you do? There's no cameras on that street. She eventually installs cameras.
I mean, yeah, but still, like, I don't think that they're going to do anything
and
anyway.
Who knows if that was actually, like,
yeah,
if that was planted there, or I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, so then Sandra Williams, a local journalist who had written about Rachel, mentions how she was frustrated with the handling of the hate crimes that Rachel had reported. And she said it was almost as if Spokane used her fraudulence as an excuse to write off the hate crimes as never having happened, as well as acting like it was something that just didn't happen there at all. And Sean Vestal, like, backs it up, saying that Spokane's Chamber of Commerce likes to play off the idea that Spokane has overcome racism, but that's very much untrue. And it's because it's not a very diverse area to begin with. And there have been neo-Nazi rallies, and, like, someone tried to bomb an MLK Jr. parade.
Yeah, they said that.
Yeah,
right.
and then he even says that he got letters that were similar to the ones that Rachel had received. And so that's what makes the question of her credibility difficult, that for as many things as she lied about, she very well may have been telling the truth about other things. But
because your stamp is fucking tainted.
Yeah, because you keep doubling down on it.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Sandra points out how Rachel had been treated like a black person. So Sandra points out how Rachel had been treated like a black person would be when she was out there, like, speaking on black issues and protesting and everything. And although there are very valid criticisms, it's undeniable that she made an impact. But like we said, it's fucking gone now.
Yeah. The only thing they're going to remember is the last thing you did.
Mm-hmm. So then we're back to Rachel at her home, and her friend Siobhan comes to visit her. And Rachel expresses that she feels like she's never going to be able to just be herself. She's always going to be that white girl that says she's black, or the transracial girl. And Siobhan really does try to, like, be supportive and tell her that if people already hate her, she might as well be herself. But Rachel's concern, and rightfully so, is, like, how she's going to make money to provide for her family. And unfortunately, that's not really something that somebody else can provide a solution for.
Yeah. You gotta figure it out yourself.
Yeah. But then in the next scene, we see home video footage of Rachel and Franklin getting ready to go to Los Angeles.
Oh, you didn't write down how that conversation ended? I thought that was funny.
No, how did it end?
She was like, "You got to go to Mars."
Oh, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, I was just like, you're just gonna have to leave.
Yeah, go to Mars.
Yeah, well, because she looks at her and she's like, how am I supposed, like, what do I do?
Exactly.
And she's like,
I don't know,
the
go to
fuck?
Mars.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Like, she asked something about, like, how do I get past this? Like, how do I get people to accept it, or what, something like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know, go to Mars.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
What else is there for you to do?
That's advice.
Yeah. But anyway, so she decides that she's going to go on The Real to, I guess, tell her truth.
I don't know.
Speak her truth.
The way that it sounds like how it was sold to her was different than what she walked into.
Yeah.
So she understood that it was one thing, but then she was definitely, like, bombarded with.
Well, so one thing I did want to say is that I thought it was nice of her that she personally made a painting for them, and she took it with her, and it actually looked really good. And, like, Franklin was obviously nervous about going into it with his mom. He was paranoid about her being blindsided again. And during the interview, it seemed like they were really trying to give her an opportunity to explain herself.
Yeah.
Tamara starts off by asking Rachel, quote, "What does being black mean to you?" And again, she gives a fucking non-answer. And she responds with, blackness can be defined as philosophical, cultural, biological, and I think you do have to kind of, like, walk the walk if that's who you are. I think from the beginning, they knew that they were going to have to, like, kind of tread lightly to approach her and like not make her feel ambushed. Cause you can tell with, you know, the way that they're all trying to like gently talk to her that
Some of
they're,
them.
yes, you can tell how they're trying to like play off each other. And there's even at one point where like Lonnie's talking to her and Adrian like puts her hand on her. Like that's what I'm saying is that they're just kind of like, let's keep everybody calm, you know? But that's what I'm saying, just so that she doesn't feel ambushed.
Yeah.
Well, because there's 3 black women sitting on that couch with her.
Yeah. And they're the ones asking you.
Yes. And like, I never remember which Braxton it is that's on that show.
Don't look at me. I have no idea.
But she looks not happy with her.
I mean,
and yeah, that's like I said though. I think that's why like the other women are really trying to. But like I said, you can see how frustrated that they're clearly getting with her through the interview. Like I said, specifically the black women. Lonnie Love even asked her why she didn't just tell people that she was white. And she's like, are you ashamed of being white? And again, here comes Rachel saying, quote, well, like Dick Gregory says, white isn't a race. It's a state of mind. And nothing about whiteness describes me. And then, but Lonnie makes a really good point here. And she says, look, I'm black. I can't be you. I can't reverse myself. And she makes the comparison that if Rachel were pulled over by the police, she could take off her wig, show her blonde hair, and she's probably going to get out of it. Whereas a black woman like Lonnie may not even make it to the jail. And then for what seems to be the first time, Rachel actually acknowledges that she was born biologically white to white parents, and the audience like erupts in applause. Yeah. But she's obviously unhappy about it. And I think Adrian tries to make her feel better by explaining that it's the acknowledgement of that it makes it easier for people to, you know, believe her a little bit and begin to feel connected to her.
I think it's like a re-acknowledgement because this isn't the first time. She filled out the paperwork. I forget where it was, but it was the lawsuit with Harvard. She said she was Caucasian.
Howard,
Or Howard, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But even that didn't come out until after the scandal came out and people found out later. So still, she never even, it wasn't an acknowledgement then. So back in,
Nothing. Just waiting.
So back in Spokane, Rachel is reading through a copy of the New York Times Magazine. It was given to her because she was mentioned in one of the articles. And she talks about that, you know, like she had seen herself as black when she was a young child, but it was conditioned out of her. And then she says that around 1998, she began being perceived as biracial by others. And finally, in 2006, that's when she began identifying as black openly. And in 2015, the word of the year was identity, which is why her racial identity became such a huge story. In the montage of interviews and TV reports, it's clear that the general public was not supportive of Rachel's transracial identity, and everybody felt that she was just putting on a performance. Of course, I mean, like one huge argument also was that she was claiming to be black, but she had literally never gone through any of the black experience that like the rest of us have. So while she may be doing it in admiration or seeking kinship, she just simply cannot and will never be able to relate. And she will always have the option to just be white.
Absolutely. 100%.
Like that's something that the rest of us do not have. So girl... Yeah. But yeah, up until now, Rachel she says that she's been private about her family, and she explains that it was intentional for holding their family together. But now she feels it's necessary to tell her story, so she's working on writing a book.
What do you mean by that again?
Which part?
So keeping the family private?
That's what she said, was that she had been private about her family. And she explains that it was intentional for holding their family together. But here's where we start getting like kind of
okay, yeah, because that's not
yeah.
Because they're part of like protests and shit. The kids are.
Yeah, but I think I think she means like the background of them.
Okay.
But here, like Rachel explains that her birth story was narrated to her by her mother as being extremely traumatic. And she blamed Rachel for almost killing her because she had hemorrhaged and almost bled to death. So Rachel's parents, Larry and Ruth Ann, lived their lives by the Bible and believed that because Adam and Eve didn't need a doctor or midwife, that neither did they. Unfortunately, that kind of thinking bled into the treatment of their children. And so because of the way that Rachel had been born and the trauma surrounding it, her parents deemed her as cursed. And they believed that she needed to work to earn love because she wasn't innately deserving of it. On the other hand,
That's gotta be pretty traumatic.
I mean, yeah, that's where like I feel really bad for her.
I mean,
and like that's where I kind of start to see the pieces of the puzzle coming together. Yeah. So on the other hand, her older brother Josh, his birth had been textbook perfect, and he was clearly an angel to their parents and deserving of all of the love in the world because of it. So because of this treatment, Rachel always felt that she was wrong and out of place. And then when her parents began adopting kids, that's when she began to feel more kinship with those siblings. And she makes a point to say that her parents realized that white babies would take too long and be more expensive, so they opted for adopting children of color. And they adopted a little boy named Ezra first. Next was Isaiah, then another little boy named Zach, and then Esther. And Esther explains how their parents had adopted black children, but they didn't care to learn about their culture or anything about blackness in general. And these kids were essentially raised as white, or quote, white people with skin conditions, which is fucked.
Absolutely. I mean, this whole thing is.
I mean, yeah, that's where like.
At least with the parents and their upbringing.
Yeah. So Rachel felt like she could bridge the cultural divide between her parents and her siblings. So that's when she was allowed to check out more books about culture, which that's so fucking sad.
At least she's making an effort.
I mean, yeah, but like how terrible that like she had to make that argument to her parents, and then assumably they're just like, you go ahead.
Fucking awful.
Yeah.
But at least she.
Yeah. Like that's where, that's where I sympathize with her a lot, because she obviously cares. She's obviously a very caring person. She gave a shit about them when like her parents never fucking did. Yeah. And like all these other things, her activism and everything, like I don't think she's not a bad person.
No, she even did great things for the community. It's
yeah.
just the
like
one decision that you made
this
completely changed everything.
Yeah. So through all of her reading, she felt like these black authors were speaking to her soul, and she kind of laughs it off, saying that she never brought it up to her parents because she probably would have gotten a beating for it. Sad.
Probably.
True. Yeah.
Probably with the Bible too.
Probably, or something. So she goes on to say that Larry was physically and emotionally abusive to them as children. Isaiah explained that he explained it as being borderline extremism with the way that they intertwine religion and discipline. And Esther shares that Larry and Ruth Ann had beat them with glue gun sticks that would raise welts on their bodies. And then they were also beat with a baboon whip from Africa. And Esther then shows the scars that she still has from these beatings that she got when she was a kid. So fuck those parents.
I mean, the extremely religious people are usually the worst.
Oh, 100%.
When it comes to like abuse and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So Isaiah talks about how he's had to work on healing to overcome what his adoptive parents put him through. And some things will, some of those wounds will probably never even heal. So following that, Rachel, with tears in her eyes, mentions seeing marks on Isaiah's back before she got custody of him. So yeah, you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
And then at this point, Esther explains that it's clear that Rachel found more identity in her relationship with her adoptive siblings than she did with her biological parents, which is why she leaned more towards the black identity.
White people are crazy.
Yeah. And And Rachel confirms this by saying that every step away she took from her parents was a step away from her religious conditioning.
I mean,
so
I think she's on the right path there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So back to, present day, like the focus is back on present day. And she talks about coping with her upbringing through art. And there's like a montage of her work. And she's actually a really talented artist, like almost unbelievably talented. Yeah. She's really, really
especially
good.
Like what is it, the abstracts? Is that what it's known as? Or like
I think so. Like when she does the collages and stuff.
Yeah,
I touch
like
on that later. But yeah, either way, she's a really good artist. Yeah. Then Esther talks about having reached out to Rachel when she turned 18, and she had asked for help getting away from Larry and Ruth Ann because she felt so disassociated from them. And at this time, she reveals that she had been sexually assaulted by Josh, Larry and Ruth Ann's eldest son. Mm-hmm. And Esther says that she had tried to tell her mom about what was going on, and Ruth Ann just accused her of lying and then punished her. And Rachel had stepped forward with supporting accusations against Josh. And at that time, Josh was arrested and indicted on 4 counts of sexual assault in the state of Colorado. And because the court case was scheduled to be a jury trial, Josh had hired a private investigator to discredit Rachel. Mm-hmm. And she knew about the private investigator, but she wasn't banking on him outing her and getting the media involved. And both Sean Vestal and Jeff Humphrey reveal that they spoke with the private investigator, and it was clear that the man had wanted to undercut Rachel's credibility. And that's
probably his job. Yeah.
Both Josh and the private investigator insisted that Rachel had lied about the sexual assault, just like she had lied about her racial identity. And unfortunately, this story hit the media right before Rachel was set to testify with her story in Esther's case.
That's what kicked this whole thing off.
Yep. In the aftermath of the public finding out her true identity, Larry and Ruth Ann took it upon themselves to partake in several interviews to discredit Rachel. And
it was a whole campaign.
Yeah, and discuss her upbringing in their extremely white household. And Ezra kind of pissed me off here because he says that neither Rachel nor Esther are always honest, and he deduces it by saying that if Rachel lies about one thing, surely she's lying about this other thing too, which that's not always necessarily true. And I think more so just because of the assault of it all. But I'm not super surprised because he's still clearly involved with Larry and Ruth Ann, who, when asked if there was any reason why Rachel might want to separate from them, they acted completely oblivious, and they said, "Oh, there's really no reason they could think of."
I mean, it's a what is that, smear campaign? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Exactly. But I was like, well, gee, IDK, maybe because you told her she was cursed and treated her like shit and fucking outcasted her, beat her and her adoptive siblings. I'm assuming they never laid a hand on Josh, and they sure had no problem covering up his misdeeds, or however they probably fucking wrote it off. But I digress. So,
I mean, yeah, that's 100% correct.
Yeah. As Esther said, Larry and Ruth Ann had convinced themselves that Josh was so perfect and above reproach that he couldn't have possibly done what he was accused of. So it was easier for them to say that Rachel and Esther were just trying to get revenge on them through Josh. Which I believe that she lied about a lot of shit when it comes to stuff like that. I believe them.
That's the problem, though.
Yeah, I know, but exactly.
So many times now, your credibility is just shot.
That's what sucks.
Doesn't matter what might have been done,
So back to Rachel and her family, back to the present day and stuff. Not fuck her parents. I just feel so fucking bad for Franklin. He explains how everybody else at his school has at least a couple of really close friends, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And he also mentions how the other kids' moms probably aren't known across the nation, so that's probably why he doesn't have any friends. I just want to hug him.
Yeah, it's rough.
That's he's 13. You know that he's going through hell at school.
She's really not helping.
No. No.
Like as she progresses through the story.
No. Rachel acknowledges the obvious that it would be easier to move away from Spokane and try to start over somewhere new, but her custody arrangement with Franklin's dad prevents her from doing so.
Yep.
And she explains that she'd have to get his permission to move out of state, and it sounds like she's tried doing it before because she says that historically that hasn't been an option.
Yeah.
This dude sounds like a controlling piece of shit, honestly. According to Rachel, he gave her an ultimatum, marriage or being a mother, and she chose to be a mother. So I took that as like he probably didn't even want Franklin to begin with, and now he's just keeping them stuck there. It's like a form of control. Like,
Well, that was I thought that was about the baby.
no, her baby, like that, the baby's father didn't want anything to do with either. He's just gone. It's Franklin's dad that they have the
that's what she was talking
custody.
about.
Yeah, they have the custody arrangement. She says that she was unhappily married to him, and that the choice was either marriage or being a mother. So I don't know if like that's when Isaiah came into the picture, or if she got pregnant. I'm assuming.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
But that's why I was saying it sounds like he just keeps her there as a form of control, and now he knows that she's fucking going through it, and he's like, good, stay here. Good. You can't go anywhere.
Maybe.
Like,
yeah, I don't
just
know. That's different.
another reason to be
Maybe.
like put her in shit.
Yeah.
So then cut to Rachel having her newest baby. This is a cute moment. They're in the hospital, and Franklin is like vowing to protect this baby, but also steer him in the right direction. And, you know, he's just so excited about being a big brother. He's so sweet.
Yeah.
But then Rachel has to figure out how she's going to handle the birth certificate for this baby, because in Washington state, the baby is classified as the same race as the mother, regardless of the father's race entirely. So technically, the baby should be classified as white. But Rachel's worried about potentially getting reported for falsifying government documents. So in the end, she classifies him as black and white on his birth certificate.
Yep.
And Rachel reveals that the baby's father has opted to not be involved. So while she has him in the baby book, she's not going to be reaching out to him for anything, and she's going to be raising this baby on her own.
Yep.
And I don't really remember what the baby looks like now, but I was like, this is such a cute fucking baby. Oh my God, look at his little face. So I probably was just like,
I mean, it's because you saw a baby.
yeah. So then she takes this baby to go see Grandpa. Grandpa is Albert Wilkerson, who's the man that was highlighted on Rachel's Facebook page as her father.
The father figure.
Yep. And Albert explains that he had met Rachel 8 or 9 years prior. They had bonded over art and Black history, but they ended up working together on a lot of community activism. And then, of course, after her story broke, Albert needed some time away. And he goes on to say that he had some suspicions about her, but ultimately he chose to focus on the fact that her heart was always in the right place, and she was always concerned about helping others. And he reiterates Rachel's previous sentiment that anybody can be a father, but not many people can be a dad. And I want to say that this should be a good testimonial to Rachel's character so badly. Like, I really want to give her a break, but I can't.
No.
So Rachel explains in a voiceover that when she adopted Isaiah was when she really started to identify as Black. And Franklin essentially excuses this, he essentially excuses this by saying that Isaiah didn't want to be viewed as adopted. He wanted to be seen as part of the family. And he states that basically Rachel wanted them all to feel like one big family. So that's why she felt validated in her decision to take on this identity. And he says that she just wanted him to belong, and she felt that his complexion would be easier to explain if she was Black herself. But like, have y'all never heard of mixed kids?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it could have been an easy explanation for just.
I mean, all of this could have been significantly easier.
Yeah.
So let's not pull at that thread yet.
So then she goes to do this speaking engagement at a college with Ronnie Gladden, who's a professor.
This was weird.
Yeah,
this was a weird thing.
He was kind of in the same boat as Rachel, where he says that he was born a black male, but he often feels more like a white female, which...
Did you see the crowd?
Yeah, it was sparse.
No, so after he said that, they like panned through the...
Yeah, everybody was just kind of like...
And like, everybody's...
Fuck?
Some people scratching their heads.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It was a weird interaction.
But so he said that that's why he wanted to invite Rachel to speak with him on this panel so that they could discuss conflicts with race identity and more. And I felt like it was kind of difficult to watch because it's clearly two people who are trying to explain their points of view and their experience going through life with these identity crises, but I felt like the audience just wasn't having it, especially in regard to Rachel.
Yeah, it wasn't. They didn't make it clear as to like who the audience was. I don't know if it was like a class or like if it was just.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a very random assortment
I wasn't
of
sure
people.
Like who's your audience, but
they
didn't seem to be really having.
No,
yeah.
And again, there's this, the argument that she hasn't endured the plight of being a black woman, but for some fucking reason, Rachel decides to push back and ask about what kind, and like it kind of pissed me off how she said it, because she's like, what kind of initiation process should I have to go through to be considered a black woman? And like just the eye rolling of it, and like she acted like there's some fucking underground experience that she keeps being told of, but she hasn't experienced it, so she's like so dismissive of it. Like you're out here doing this activism, yet you act like you have no fucking clue what people are talking about when they say that you don't know what it actually means to live this life. And she like
very delusional.
That's why I'm saying I want to give you a break when I hear about your background and all this shit. I have sympathy for you, but god damn it, you piss me off. I'm sorry. But like just
exactly. It's very delusional.
Yeah. So
for somebody that's so in the know,
yes,
very outside.
That's what I'm saying, is that you act like you're so knowledgeable and you're so in the culture and you're so for this activism, but when people tell you what the problem is, you're like, I don't fucking think that's a problem. Pick a side.
Yeah,
that's my rant. So.
Oh god, it's a mess.
Anyway, so yeah, there are two women and there are two black women in the audience who, have no problem informing her of what her so-called initiation process would look like. And it includes, but is not limited to, discrimination in school, discrimination among other black people, and the effects of colorism, racial profiling, experiences being pulled over by the police, not being the picture of beauty in American society, self-hatred towards black features, whether it's skin color, nose size, lip size, butt size, body shape. Like they're just listing off all of these things.
They go like back and forth.
Yeah, because literally they're like, they don't even have to like fucking rehearse it because this is their life. This is the shit that they have been dealing with every single day their entire lives. Unlike somebody who has all these
for the community,
but also as somebody who does all these things, these are the kind of answers that you should have. If you're so, I'm a black woman and I live this life, these are the kind of answers that you should have. Not all your fucking non-answers that you're giving all the time.
Well, she didn't live that life, so she can't give those answers.
Exactly.
That's why the non-answers
That's what everybody's saying, girl. Just listen. Anyway. So Rachel responds by apologizing, and she's done anything that has caused offense, but she maintains that she has a life story that deserves to be told, and she's not planning on going away anytime soon.
To be fair, this is where not siding with anybody, but she has a point in saying that, because she has a fucking story. Everybody has a story.
Yeah.
She has a pretty brutal story. So what she said there is definitely fair.
Yeah.
She has a story.
Yeah.
It's just not the story that she's...
Yeah, I mean, and she's clearly not going away. But again, the argument is that, like...
No one's asking you to go away.
Yeah, but the argument is that she would be so much more impactful if she were coming from an authentic place as a white woman, standing up for social and other injustices against black people, But her portraying herself as a black woman is what's killing it for her.
If she didn't do that, nothing would have changed.
Exactly.
She
like,
would have just continued
and
on.
that's the thing that she doesn't, whether she acknowledges it or not, she doesn't absorb it. And like, she doesn't fully accept it.
No.
That's what the problem is.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like,
throughout this whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah, she just doubles down. And
yes, she always, even when she acknowledges, she just always comes back to doubling down.
Yep.
So back to LaToya Brackett. In her interview, she makes a really good point in saying that the idea of race being fluid doesn't work quite yet because people still haven't grasped the concept or haven't accepted the concept of white privilege. And in this specific scenario, being transracial is absolutely white privilege because someone like Rachel can do their hair, put some makeup on their skin, try to adopt the mannerisms and call it transracial, whereas people of color will never be afforded that opportunity because we can't simply put makeup on our skin, call ourselves white, and expect to be accepted in society in the same way that she expects to be. If that scenario is not applicable to all races, then it's a privilege. And that's where the problem ultimately lies. So the resounding consensus is that everybody believes that she's a fraud because she put on this makeup, she puts on these wigs, she put herself in all these various positions to be viewed as a black woman without ever setting the record straight. And she seems to truly believe that she's been honest the entire time. And it's kind of sad, though, because, again, she's made such an impact. And she really was. Oh, this is one of the last things that LaToya says was that it's sad because she made such an impact as a black woman. And she was really such a successful black woman before everything.
I mean, yeah, you could have just stayed just like an activist.
Yeah.
Just like
she just
standing
got
up for
too
community.
loud.
But yeah,
I think like that's really what it is. She got too loud.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're claiming something that you aren't.
Well, yeah, but then also with all the hate crimes, if you didn't have people digging into shit, you could have flown under the radar. You got way too fucking loud.
Well, I mean, what brought that to light, though, I think, was the case. The private investigator was a huge component of bringing that to light.
Yeah, that would have been a part of it, but I think that the hate crimes amplified.
Oh, yeah, like, then all that kind of came to the surface.
Because... I mean, there's obviously so much more out there about that than there is about the case, which sucks because, like...
There's nothing about the case.
Yeah, no, but still, like...
It's all about this, highlighting all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so Rachel, this book that she's been writing, her book agent has been trying to find a publishing house to send it to, but all of the top 30 publishing houses have turned it down.
Yep.
But it was finally picked up, and so now Rachel is heading back out to do interviews for this book, beginning with the Today Show. So, of course, through the conversation, it's like, so beginning with the Today Show, of course, though, the conversation is still mainly revolving around her racial identity and then like all that controversy and everything. Mm-hmm. And she says that she's excited to challenge people to think about identity and race with her new book. She even says, why do we still want to go back to that worldview of separate races? Which, like, you are not helping your fucking case, girl. So following the interview, she's scrolling through comments and sees that she's still being met with so much vitriol from the public.
I want to comment on this. Not commenting on anything that's like happening, right? Mm-hmm. Just the overall, just looking at comments. That's all I want to talk about. So nobody should do that. Nobody should just like concentrate on comments or even read comments. I think even like Tom hits on it, like fucking Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Like big people that are like, I used to pay attention to comments, but then like, it takes up, and like she is like,
she's like reading
that, with every comment.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like, well, this person's blocked. Like, you can't pay attention to that. No matter who you are, or how great, or how whatever you are, you can't. That was one unhealthy thing that I noticed. Even fuck everything she's done, right? Good, bad, whatever. It's not healthy. She was like fixated, obsessed with comments.
Yeah. And I mean, through like all of the interviews, she's still being called out about pretending to be black. They're questioning why she's putting herself in the public eye. ultimately, I think people are just questioning like what the fuck she's doing. But really, like what are you doing? Why do you keep putting yourself out there like this? Like that was my question throughout the whole thing is why do you keep doing this to yourself? She keeps putting herself
in like the limelight.
Yeah. And sometimes it seems almost like when it's starting to die down. Like she like ramps it back up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Anyway, so she's talking to Storms Reback, who's like ends up being the co-author on her book. And she's telling him how her kids are nervous about her writing this book and they're worried about like how much they're in it, how many details there are, and how it's going to affect their future. But Rachel insists that it's necessary for her to be able to move forward. So I get a little bit of a focus on Isaiah here. And he wants to go to Howard University and HBCU to become a lawyer.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, this is also where Rachel went to college, and this is also the college that she sued.
Yeah, the lawsuit, yeah.
I think he really does want to go, but he knows that like it wouldn't be good for him to go. And he mentions at one point, like, we have the same last name. It's only a matter of time until it gets out who I am. And, obviously he's unsure of like how it's going to play out. And she just pisses me off really about like how when it comes to Isaiah and Franklin, continuously going through this, I do not like how she handles things with them at all. Like how she posts the picture of Isaiah outside the college and she's like, oh, I hope he goes to college here. And then she acts all surprised at the backlash that they're both getting online.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you sued the school.
Well, not only that, but people fucking hate you. You see the things that people say about you. Yeah. Why are you posting your kids?
Yeah.
Why? That's the last thing that I would be doing. Like, I would go through and delete pictures of my kids.
Distance, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't still be posting pictures of them. What the fuck? Especially saying where they want to go to college. You're ruining everything for him.
Institution that you sued too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
like,
agree.
Have some fucking wherewithal.
I mean, none of
something.
This
No, she's.
It's handled well, and it gets worse. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like after this, after she posts it, poor Isaiah is just sitting there, like reading through all of the comments and everything, and
I think that's what drove him to
leave.
Make the next next move.
So then, over to Franklin, again, you see how he's just progressively getting more and more fed up with her shit.
Yeah.
And he tells Rachel that he doesn't want to have to focus on this for the rest of his life. And she's like, oh, you think I do? And he's like, well, then why don't you just let it go away?
Just stop, yeah.
And this, like, I understand her point in saying, quote, when something gets destroyed, you have to rebuild it. You can't just pretend that it didn't happen and everything gets fixed. And like, but he pushes back and asks why she keeps doing the interviews. And he points out that this is affecting more than just her life. And he's trying to tell her that it's going to backfire just like everything else has. And he says that he has some resentment for her choices and some of the things that she's said. And he's just drained from dealing with all of it. And I feel like he's obviously holding on to more than just the backlash from all of this, but he's still trying to protect himself. And rightfully so, because she's not fucking doing it.
No, not at all.
No.
I'm
so mad at her.
I mean, I think she truly loves them and wants the best for them, but I think she has her own agenda.
Yeah. So again, she keeps documenting pictures and everything about, and like posting them about how she's being harassed. And I fully believe that the purpose, I understand that the purpose is of the, like, keeping the documentation and trying to hold people accountable and everything, but consistently posting this is just making shit worse.
What do you mean documentation? What did you say?
Like, if all this harassment that she's experiencing out in the public, I understand wanting to have the documentation of that, but like consistently posting it, you're not getting sympathy from people. Everybody still thinks that you're fucking lying.
Yeah.
I mean, even when she posted the picture of the people flipping her off, everybody was still like,
that's
who cares?
What you're talking about. Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I got it. Yeah. There was another piece too. It was the people in the truck that were flipping her off. There was another thing too.
Well, this is where the thing about the baby comes in. I just said they're saying disgusting, racist, and sexually violent things against her baby. I'm not fucking going into the details because it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And she has cameras up all over her property now, and it looks like she got like the monitoring system right up in her bedroom. But it just doesn't seem to be enough. Even Franklin says that he's experienced some hate crimes, so it's impossible for him to say whether she lied about all of her experiences because the ones that he went through were very real. So again, her fraudulence is brought into question. And LaToya Brackett mentions how all these times that Rachel would speak out, it was always about experiencing hardship. And it often felt like she was trying to one-up people with her hardship and blackness. And it was almost as if that was her way of reminding people that she was truly black. Like if she had said it enough that she and everybody else would believe it. And LaToya even says that Rachel's using Isaiah and Franklin as a proxy for the black struggle. This is what I was talking about at the beginning, Yeah. Like she's getting them out there in the protests and all this stuff, having them be involved in stuff.
They're like lined in chalk, and she even plays off that.
Yeah. And like when she's asked why she remains on social media, Rachel says that it's the only way for her to have a presence in the world right now. And she feels like it's the only thing that she has control over. Sure.
Okay. You can make a different presence.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't have to be this one.
I know. So at this point, we learn that Esther's case has unfortunately been dropped. And she had a strong case, but after the whole scandal with Rachel and everything, her credibility was called into question. And then it rapidly weakened Esther's credibility by association with her and, ultimately weakened her case.
Yeah, it was like she was at like the epicenter of it. And then everything she touched
just turned to shit.
Yeah.
Which it sucks because now it seems like she's never going to get justice for it. She said she can't seem to find anybody to pick up the case.
No, not when you're attached to.
Not when you're attached to Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Rachel,
sucks.
Yeah.
But so now we're kind of heading towards the end, and we see that Isaiah is going to Spain because he just needs to get out of the States for a while, and he's feeling the need to distance himself from Rachel and become his own person.
I understand. I don't judge him for a second, but leaving your younger brother in that state to kind of fend for himself is interesting.
That's kind of what I thought too.
It was like, your younger brother, it's not to say that your responsibility, you're your own person. Like I understand the decision,
also,
but you're leaving the country.
Yeah.
Like there are other things that you could have done to stay close to your little brother because now
he's
your
on
little
his
brother.
own.
Because the thing was
Both
that
of them.
the thing with the little brother. What was his name again? Franklin.
Franklin.
Franklin already didn't have really any friends in school, and his brother just came home from wherever he was at, and then he's got this little little brother
baby there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
leaves
and then he just leaves because he doesn't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Well, also your little brother doesn't want any part of it either. So.
I don't think I would have been able to leave.
I would not have been able to fucking leave the country.
I wouldn't have been able to leave.
Like a vacation or something, like a
there.
little reset or something like that. I can understand that. But if you're going over, if you're going abroad to stay there, and he even says,
because he's assuming I come back
in December. Yeah, you're just gonna leave. Fuck what the mom did. What about your little brother didn't do anything?
I know.
So that was one thing. I was like,
that's what I feel so bad for Franklin and all of it.
He'll recover.
I mean, yeah, it seems like he has, but yeah, that's still sad.
Oh, did you do research? Okay, nice. Okay.
So he's saying that he wants to lay down some boundaries between them and make it clear that he's not going to involve himself with how Rachel decides to tell her story and live her life.
You're back to Franklin?
Yeah. Okay. No, this is Isaiah.
Okay.
But I do think that Franklin is starting to see things the same way that Isaiah is.
100%.
And, he acknowledges again that if Rachel just said that she was white, people would probably move on. But she won't. And you can't convince her to do anything that she doesn't want to do. Yeah. So I said, this boy is going to leave as soon as he possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to try to distance himself from her as much as possible. And honestly, he's not wrong for that. And I thought that Esther was going to be doing the same now that her case had been dropped and she was struggling to find anybody to take it. I felt like maybe Rachel was going to eventually drive everyone away because of everything that's constantly surrounding her. And whether or not it's her fault, I felt like that's what was going to happen.
Well, I didn't see Franklin later on in the documentary.
Yeah.
Once Isaiah left, I didn't really see Franklin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they really kind of like wrap it up from this point on.
Yeah, but
so,
you
like
see
I
her
said,
in
I
the-
think that everybody is just getting fed up with her at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Franklin just wants it to stop. He wants it all to go away. He just wants to be able to move on with his life. So I think, yeah.
Well, releasing the book didn't help.
Yeah, I know. So Rachel explains that the saddest part of all of this for her is losing her sense of community and her sense of home. And now nobody is ever going to see the true her again. They're always only going to see the controversy surrounding her. And at this point, it's been a whole year since the scandal, and she feels like it's been a year wasted because she's just been stuck in the house. All of her activist work has come to a complete halt, and she feels like there's still so much work to be done that nobody is focusing on, whereas she would be. So this is where she begins channeling a lot of her energy into collage art, which again, like she's so talented. I say like if she could just find a way to sell these under like a different faceless name, she'd probably make some good money. But I don't think her ego will let her do that.
I mean, yeah, probably could.
Yeah. So she's getting ready to get back out there and try to get involved again, beginning with a protest on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And at one point, someone even comes up to her and says that like they've been supporting her, asking her what she's been working on. And, you know, that's got to feel nice to hear that support and everything. So I think that's where you kind of see like people, it starting to die down a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
Well, at least enough for her to like be out in public like that.
Well, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So by now her book has been published and it's titled In Full Color, Finding My Place in a Black and White World. And so now she's back out doing interviews again on the Today Show, and she's owning who she is wholeheartedly. She's trying to normalize the term trans black in regards to her identity. And the interviews seem to be going good for the most part until they show a live virtual interview with the New York Times. I felt like this one was kind of an ambush. I really did feel bad for her.
Oh, yeah. Why would you read those comments?
Well, I felt like so the interviewer explains that they often get emotionally charged emails from readers, and they clearly touched a nerve with readers by asking for questions for Rachel. But a lot of the responses that she read the questions weren't even directed at Rachel. They were directed at the New York Times asking why they were giving her a platform. I felt like it came off as bullying a little bit. I wasn't a fan.
And also, like, why would the New York Times behave like that?
That's what I said.
And like, also, why would you conduct an interview like that?
Exactly. I was like, I felt like she just wanted this opportunity to read these mean things to her and get her reaction on camera, because it certainly didn't add anything to the interview.
No. I felt like this was
a really dick move on the New York Times' behalf, or whoever that interview was. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
and also, like I said, you couldn't even do a real interview. It wasn't an interview. You just got them on this face chat thing, whatever, and then you just read comments.
Yeah, and like you can just
interview.
I felt so bad. You see her face, like she almost looked like she wanted to cry, and rightfully so. Like you go here to go and promote your books. It seemed like interviews had been going well, like things were starting to look up for her. And then you just read all these shit comments.
The comments weren't, there's nothing she could say.
Yeah.
All she could do was just sit there because they were directed to the New York Times.
Yeah. Like that's.
And the interviewer not
so
like.
fucking rude.
It was, that was.
And like, I felt like she just seemed to be going, like for every one step forward that she was taking or tries to take, she gets knocked like 3 steps back. Like every time she tries to redeem herself and come back in the public eye and everything. But also,
you keep coming back with the wrong.
Well, that's what I was saying, is that also she's not exactly trying to redeem herself. She just fucking doubles down.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, and I'm trying so hard to make the argument for you, girl. You just make it difficult. I don't know. In the end, Rachel's book only sold 596 copies upon its release.
Yeah.
And then there's an identified female interviewer off camera that tells Rachel that from an outsider's perspective, she feels that the Black community has spoken and made it clear how they feel about Rachel. And she asks Rachel if she disagrees with the statement that ultimately Black people are the ones that govern Blackness. But still, Rachel persists that there's a place for everybody to be included, and she feels that the attack and exclusion that she's subjected to isn't moving towards equality like she wants to. So this is where she almost gets me on her side. the interviewer asks how Rachel reacts to the emotional responses regarding her white privilege and being able to assume this identity. And Rachel starts getting emotional and she says, quote, "I'm never going to be that 12-year-old looking 18-year-old girl in Montana again, wearing Amish dresses. I can't live in that particular mode again. I'm not going to subject myself to the punishment of my parents all over again." So to me, her identity is obviously like a trauma response. I said, like, I'm not a clinical psychologist or anything, so I'm not going to get on here and pretend like I can diagnose her with anything like that. But it seems to me like she really associates her whiteness with her parents and then the abuse that they subjected her to. So it feels like she feels if she goes back to being white, that she goes back to living a life of punishment by her parents. Like that's where I really begin to empathize with her as far as like the mental gymnastics of it all. Maybe. Is that if that's the case, that like she feels like being black is like a protection for her.
Maybe, yeah.
Against, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Maybe.
You got to take that shit to therapy.
I mean, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Right.
There's nothing anybody else can do other than someone who's licensed with shit like that.
I mean, it's a good observation. It could be along those lines.
Yeah. So that's where I feel for her. Genuinely, I really do, because I can't even fathom having that much disconnect from my family, specifically like her parents, how, just the abuse and everything that she was subjected to. I can even imagine that. And it's obviously like emotionally and mentally draining for her.
Yeah. I mean, she went through a trauma.
Exactly. Sure. So that's where I feel really bad for her. And that's where I do want to like be on her side with all of this. But anyway, leading up to the end of it here, this is where you make it hard, girl. So Rachel's doing her hair and she puts on...
This was wild.
She puts on a dark curly wig and she does her makeup. Then she looks in the mirror and she says, "Nkechi," followed by a photo montage of Rachel through the years as a white blonde-haired little girl into a white blonde-haired young woman, then into her most current appearance where she's been portraying herself as a black woman. And the documentary wraps up with Rachel heading to the DMV to submit documentation for a name change. And her new name is Nkechi Amari Diallo. And walking out, Nkechi says that this is a new start. And that's the end.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
Well, when you were kind of teasing it, was it last week? I think it was that episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the last one we did. Mm-hmm. When you teased it, I thought it was going to be drastically different. I thought I was going to see like blackface and like crazy stuff like that. And this was still pretty, I don't want to say brutal, but it's pretty wild. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't what I thought I was walking into. I have my thoughts on it, obviously. I think there's two major components here, and I'm going to be very careful, right? Because old white boy over here, I think so three main things that I wanted to say after watching this, right? Is one is the community that fucking matters already voiced their opinion. You're not welcome here, right? The black community has already fucking spoken, and that's what matters, right?
Yeah.
So that's first and foremost, right? The second one is, now this is a two-parter, so try not to get too crazy, right? There's a face of it, to me, in my opinion, right? There's a face of it, and there's kind of a deeper meaning, right? So first I'll start with the face of it, okay? You can't logically tell me that changing the color of your skin is any different than changing your genitalia. You can't tell me that. There's nobody on the face of this planet that can tell you that one is more important than the other, right? I don't think that's what the black community has an issue with, though, right? It's very obvious that they have an issue with her thinking that she can just come in and wear it as like a badge of honor, as the black community does, right? So the oppression, the racism, the daily struggles, the daily harassment, the daily issues, right, that they go through. And then for you to come in and to think that you can claim that as your own and kind of wear that badge is where the issue is, right? So that's kind of that's my opinion. Is I don't think that the changing the color of your skin is any different than you changing your sex. It's not. You can't tell me it is. Logically, you're just changing who you are fundamentally. You're just changing who you are from birth, right? It doesn't matter what it is, giving yourself boobs or, whatever it is, right? But I don't think that's the issue. It's the badge of honor that comes with being black, right? The black community has an issue.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately what the problem is her attitude about it and her, I would say her unwillingness to just acknowledge, just the black community in general and the backlash. And just the fact that she keeps acting like, I don't see what the big deal is. I think, that's,
The
that's
big
the thing
deal
that really
is,
bothers me.
The big deal is
it.
that, like I said, the best way that I can describe it, and again, this is just old white boy over here talking, right? No matter what I say, what I do, will never change the opinion of the community that fucking matters in this predicament, right? They've already spoken. They've already let you know that you're not fucking welcome here. So that's what matters, But my opinion is that it's not just changing the color of your skin that's the issue, because I think take jokes aside, like blackface, and, Robert Downey Jr. and all the Tropic Thunder stuff, right? Because I know there's been some backlash even on that. Like they want people to apologize for that, right? So that's a whole different issue.
That's a whole different thing.
But yeah, exactly. But the core concept is there, I think, right? Is just the color of the skin. That was more of a joke, right? The Tropic Thunder stuff. And that was more of a joke. He wasn't actually trying to wear that as a badge of honor. Say, I went through these struggles the same way that a black person did. He was just portraying a character, right? So I think on the face of it, it's not a big deal. It's not. It's just like with Caitlyn Jenner, right? Pretty much, I don't want to say that she was the face of the movement or anything like that.
No, not at all. But got a lot of controversy around it.
Right.
But yeah, I can see that comparison that I personally, I don't give a shit what she does. I really don't fucking care because it doesn't. Rachel.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't. Don't get started on Caitlyn.
Well, okay.
I don't care if she's transgender. I think Caitlyn's kind of a see you next Tuesday, and that's just a whole other thing.
Okay.
Anyway, but as far as Rachel goes, personally, I don't give a shit. If you want to live your life as a black woman, go live your life as a black woman. Have fun. Good luck. Whatever. It literally doesn't affect me. If that's how you want to fucking live your life, if you want to keep subjecting yourself to that, then fine. I would say that there's other ways that you could go about it. You could probably, if there was more acknowledgement about being white and just saying, it's a better way to explain how and why you identify.
Being a white person, a white woman that's an activist for the black community would have been your best play.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, yes. That would have been your best play.
Because you would have all of your efforts and all of your, what did she call them? Not efforts, but her movements and stuff like that.
all of her activism and everything.
That would have continued if you just would have, been honest.
And I mean, I just see it as how, because I speaking, in comparison to the trans movement in general, that doesn't bother. It has no effect on me. I do what you want to do.
Trans as in
the transgender movement.
Okay.
If that's how you feel, go live your truth. And so I want to be able to take that same approach to her, but she just makes it so fucking difficult because whereas somebody who's transgender, they're not just I guess I would.
That's the main difference though. So I agree.
Yeah, it's just
But that's the main difference is because, and this is kind of what I was thinking about earlier after I was done watching the documentary, was that it's very different to go from a white man to a white female, white male to a white female, right? Like the gender change and all that, or vice versa, whatever. That's not a huge, I don't mean this to sound shitty at all, but that's not a badge of honor going either way. Right?
I don't think that's just living your truth. I don't necessarily think it's a badge of honor either way.
No, definitely not. But the black community clearly has gone through, has
yeah.
earned that. That's what I'm saying is that, and that's what I mean. The face of it, when it's the gender, the transgender stuff and all that, that's not the issue, right? Or you like wanting to be black or whatever, right? That's not the issue. It's everything under the hood, right? It's the struggles that the black community goes through every single day.
Yeah.
And there's a pride in that. There's a pride, and it's a badge of honor. That's the best way I can describe it. And I think that's where they see the threat. That's where they're like, I shouldn't. It's not a threat.
No, that just where they call her bullshit is what
exactly.
it is.
Because like you can't pretend like you've gone through our same struggles. Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying is that's what makes it difficult for me. Like all the time when I was like, I have sympathy for you, especially going back to that, like that panel at the college, not a panel, where she was talking to the professor at the college.
Whatever the fuck that was, yeah.
And just the way that she was like, what kind of initiation process, like that right there, that I was like, I wanted to fucking punch her through the screen. She made me so mad with that reaction. I mean, it's like I said, for somebody who has, done all this activism and you hold that so close to your heart and everything, and you have the audacity to look these black women in their face and be like, what initiation process is there? Like, you don't fucking know already? Shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think delusion is definitely a huge part of this, but
that's what the problem is.
I agree, but I don't think the way that I took it during that, whatever you want to call it, interview panel, whatever clusterfuck you want to call that, the conversation that the professor and Rachel were having.
Her name is still Rachel on her socials. I'm calling her Rachel.
Interesting. Oh yeah, you still got to cover okay. But yeah, so I don't think how I took it was that she wasn't, when she responded that way, it wasn't like in a disrespectful way. The way that I took it, in my opinion, it wasn't like a disrespectful way. Like, okay, what do I have to do? I think it's just because she's come under so much scrutiny so much negative feedback, and there's just so much one person can take. I think that was kind of her, like, okay,
I acknowledge that. I understand that she was probably like, oh my God, this again. But
yeah, you're still addressing
you're
two black
still
women.
doing the same shit.
Yeah, 100%.
So you don't get to act annoyed when people keep bringing up the same issue that they have with it. Like,
especially when an entire community is rallying. It's very hard to get an entire community to actually rally against one fucking effort and agree on one fucking thing. When they do,
it's pretty
profound.
Yeah.
It's pretty,
when you're judged in the court of public opinion, like, you're stuck there, unfortunately.
I mean, that community has spoken, and that's the only community that should have a fucking voice in this.
It takes a movement bigger than yourself to come back from something like this. Like, there would have to be a whole transracial movement, like a sea of fucking people. Like, I'm talking big, in order for her to make a comeback and be like, see?
I think with the right people,
transracial.
And this is kind of getting off topic, but I think with the right people, because you got to think of all the politicians and all like the PR stunts and all that.
Oh yeah,
she could absolutely, with the right people, she could absolutely come back from this. I'm interested to see what you found out, what she's doing today, but I think with the right people, you can come back from anything, from fucking anything.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, look at fucking Bill Clinton. He's still doing things, isn't he?
Well. He's really old now.
Yeah.
I saw him at like a funeral or something, or it was something that was like televised. No, somebody else's.
Oh, okay.
Not the right one.
But
it was one that was televised or something, and he looks old.
But anyways, the point is she could definitely come back from this with the right people, right? Obviously, the right funding and all that. But so.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I think the really the only opinions that matter are the community that spoke.
Yeah, I mean that's the general consensus, but again, that's what she just won't.
Yeah. So what are they doing today? What's the family doing today?
So yes, I do have an update on Nkechi. In 2024, an article published by NBC News shared the unfortunate update that in 2019, she had accepted a plea deal after being charged with welfare fraud following allegations that she had failed to report her income from her book deal. And she collected more than $8,800 in food and child care assistance from Washington State. I guess like somebody had realized since she published her book, they started looking into her finances and realized that she had deposited like $80,000 something dollars.
80,000 or 8,000?
80,000 something dollars in her bank account and didn't report it while she was getting government assistance.
Okay.
And then in February of 2024, she had been fired from her teaching job in Tucson, Arizona, after her OnlyFans account was discovered. Apparently, she had been active on the account since 2021, but it wasn't discovered by her job until 2024. I forgot I was going to go back and see how long she had the job.
She went to Arizona from Washington?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I creeped on her Instagram, and it looks like she's doing well. She's still living loud and proud as a Black woman, and she's selling her art, and she has a podcast.
That's great.
And it looks like Isaiah got married to a Black woman, a very obviously fully Black woman, and they're in Australia.
Good call, buddy. It's the only way to fly.
So there was pictures. They actually looked like they had a really pretty, like super traditional wedding.
Was this in Greece?
Australia. They got married in Sydney.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
And it
Very
looks
cool.
like it was a very traditional, like they had the like really pretty garments and headdresses and everything. It was really pretty.
Nice.
Franklin is all grown up now. I mean, he was what, 13 and 2015. So yeah, he's all grown up now. I didn't like creep on the kids or anything. I just saw the pictures that she had posted. I only looked at her Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was like, that's there, especially with after what Franklin had gone through. I was like, I'm just not even going to really touch on his stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was looking at some of the comments on her posts, like her most recent ones, and it actually seems like a lot of people have pretty much moved on. Unless
Because she stopped fucking talking about it.
maybe, yeah. Unless there were like comments that were suppressed, I really only saw a lot of positive things being said to
That's
her,
awesome.
which
That's
is really
cool.
nice to see
Yeah.
after hearing about like all of the online bullying that she went through and everything.
Yeah.
So, I
That's
mean,
good.
it seems like she's doing good.
That's awesome.
Seems like the kids are doing good. Even like the baby, obviously not a baby anymore. Yeah.
What? 10 now?
Yeah.
10, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and they
Very cool.
yeah,
That's
they
awesome.
all look like they're doing good.
And it makes sense
so-
because she had phenomenal art.
She really does.
Like,
That
it
was one
looked
thing I kept coming back
really
to. She's
good.
such a good artist.
Yeah.
She could
So it sounds
do
like
great things
she
with
found
that.
her calling with
I hope so. With her art.
art. Yeah. What's the podcast?
I didn't look at it.
Oh, you don't know like a theme or?
No, I
sure?
wasn't
Okay.
gonna plug it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Anyway.
I just wasn't sure like what she was doing, if she was like what she was talking about, you know.
Oh no, I thought about like going and listening to it, and then I was just like, I have other things to do.
You just have to look at the
So-
description. You don't have to listen to it.
Oh well, I didn't like really.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I clicked on was like pictures to look at the comments, but that was
Well,
it.
it's great that she's bounced back and she's doing good, especially the
Yeah.
kids. Like,
Yeah, they
this
all
is-
seem happy.
This is a significantly better ending than last week's. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, next week for
Uh-oh.
Rants on the Rocks, I'm planning
Murder.
No.
Okay.
I'm planning to do another train wreck documentary. This time, The Real Project X.
Yes.
The documentary, it's on Netflix, and it's about a teen who accidentally made her birthday party public on Facebook and inadvertently ended up with 350,000 uninvited people RSVPing to the event.
That's insane.
I had never heard about this before, but I saw that it was recently added on Netflix, and I know that you like the Project X movie. So hopefully it'll be fun and lighthearted.
Note though, the movie is based in the United States and the documentary is based
In the UK.
overseas.
Yeah,
in
it
the
sounds
UK.
like it's the UK.
Yep.
I just watched a little bit of like that preview clip, you know?
okay, yeah.
And when I was reading, because
This one's gonna be wild.
Yeah, the explanation, I pulled that from Netflix.
Yeah.
So that it's not a spoiler. If you go watch it, that's literally the fucking
Yeah.
description on it.
Do we want to just analyze the documentary, or do we want to also compare the movie?
Do you just want an excuse to watch Project X?
I mean, kind of. That's a really good
Let's
movie.
do it.
I mean, I don't know. We can.
Well, I I don't know if I'll
we can
put,
add just like
real
tidbits from the movie.
But I'm down for watching
maybe
the movie.
there's some overlap.
Yeah, let's watch the movie
Because
this
I wonder
weekend.
if like Project X, and that's something else maybe you can do in your research is to see if like Project X, the movie,
like how realistic it is,
came from the bachelor party in the UK.
Based on a true story, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that'd be kind of wild.
That would be nuts.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I thought that would be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm down.
So if you want, watch it this week and then come back and hear us yap about it. So until then, like, comment, subscribe, do that whole thing. But most importantly, keep ranting.
Oh, God.
And come tell us about it.
There you go.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.